All right, so this video could literally save lives. Lately, I have been seeing some very disturbing posts on my Facebook page. And so, of course, I just want to make sure, not my personal one, but when people are posting, making sure that other people are aware. And they're very important topics because it's not something that you may always think about when you're relocating to an area. And so today, we are going to talk about 5 things not to do when you relocate to the Central Texas area because it could save your life, it could save a friend's life, it may even save your pet's life. So make sure you share this with somebody, like, comment, subscribe. Before we get started, I am Brina Gordon, your favorite Central Texas realtor, and I always want to make sure that you have ample knowledge and resources so that you can make the best decision possible. And today we're actually just going to talk about some tips and tricks just to make sure that you are staying healthy when you move here. So number one we're going to dive into is staying hydrated. I know that seems very cliche, like, of course, Brina, stay hydrated, but you'd be surprised when you're out hiking or swimming or you're doing yard work or you're fishing and you don't realize how much sweat your body's pushing out, but you are not putting enough back in or keeping yourself cool. That can put you in a very dangerous situation. You'd be surprised the amount of people that end up in ERs or urgent cares due to severe dehydration because they just didn't realize how much water your body was pushing out and they were not putting enough back in. Now, this is the same thing for pets. When it's in our peak summer seasons, you want to make sure that they are too staying cool and staying hydrated. So if you leave them outside, which I don't recommend, but we have people that do that. But if you leave them outside, you want to make sure that they have a cool place where they can lay, that you're keeping them hydrated, hopefully with some cool water. If you're walking your pets between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., even all the time, but especially during those peak hot times, you really want to make sure that they have something on their paws because asphalt and concrete, is much hotter than what it seems like when you're just walking and we have shoes on and they do not. So every year we see things, with pets passing away. Of course, don't leave them in your vehicles because temperatures rise quite a bit in there. But we see people that, get themselves in situations, and we see pets that are put in situations because the proper care or procedure was not taking place ahead of time. So number one, stay hydrated. Now, speaking of summer months, this also takes me into number 2, which is if you have anything that you're burning or, it's 4th of July, cigarette butts, you want to make sure that those are done properly, you're disposing them properly, or you're not using them, or, you're following whatever protocol, because it's not uncommon for us to have burn bans throughout our harder months if we haven't had any sort of rain relief. So you just want to make sure you be careful because, again, every year we have stories and articles that come out where maybe a small fire erupted, and it was just somebody passing along the highway and threw a cigarette butt out. Now you have a whole stretch of highway that's on fire and all these sort of things. So a lot of situations can definitely be avoided, like the ones we're going to talk about today. And it's just something to just keep in mind because you're relocating to a different area with a different climate and different animals, like we're going to talk about later on. So make sure you stay tuned. And so you just want to make sure that you're staying safe.
Hey, if you're thinking of relocating to the Fort Cavazos area, I have just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And I have it linked right down below. The best part is there's no obligation to this, and it's going to come with everything from the top employers to the best schools and a boatload of other information. Everything that you need to make the best decision. Again, no obligation. So make sure you click the link below. It also will be pinned, and I hope that it helps.
Number 3 is probably something that's going to catch you by surprise because I've talked about, we have a lot of beautiful natural or nature activities that you can do here, hiking, hunting, fishing, and all those sort of things. But you also want to make sure when you're thinking of places to swim that they are safe places to swim. Not all bodies of water should be swam in, unfortunately. And so if you're traveling up to Austin and you're like, oh, we're going to go swim in Lady Bird Lake, and you're not familiar with this area, that is a lake that you actually do not want to swim in. Since 2019, they have had a consistent or periodic outburst of a certain type of algae that is dangerous. And so unfortunately, it has taken the life of several pets over the years because people don't realize it, or, during that time, there's a certain outbreak of it. And so a lot of times they just have completely restricted altogether, but it's just really something mindful to keep in mind when you're traveling, especially with your pets again, because sometimes, you let your pet out the car and they go jump in the water. If you're at Lady Bird Lake, you just want to really keep that in mind. So you don't swim in it and your pets don't swim in it, and you get to enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, now for the question of the day. What is the first thing you look for in a new city? Is it a coffee shop or your favorite store? I really want to know, so make sure you comment down below, or better yet, shoot me a text, email, or even give me a call. All my information is going to pop up here on the screen. So again, what is the first thing you look for in a new city?
So that's going to bring us to number 4. which is going to sound a little scary because I know nobody or very few people are very fond of snakes, but this is Texas and we do have some venomous snakes here. And during certain seasons, they're a little bit more active than others. So right now I have seen a few posts of people catching rattlers in their yards, they're near their front doorsteps. And unfortunately that, a couple of the smaller pets have passed too. And so it's just something to stay very mindful, whether it's for you, for your children, or for your pets. When you're outside or just in your yard or anything like that, just staying mindful that you're kind of keeping alert, that you're walking your yard every now and then for your pets or kids' sake, that you or no one else is sticking your hand under rocks or near, bunches of trees or leaves or anything like that that's falling, anything that's kind of cozy that they may direct themselves in. Because again, we do have rattlesnakes and we have some others as well, but I know rattlesnakes are one of the more common ones that people are very familiar with, and they are in this area. They of course will try to avoid you, but they get in populated areas all the time. And so unfortunately we do have some situations that occur from it. So just staying mindful of their type of places that they may hide in. They don't want to see you just as much as you don't want to see them. So just staying mindful that you're checking these areas for, of course, yourself, especially small kids and pets as well. And then it's going to bring us to our last one, is not taking our emergency signals lightly. If you're not familiar with this area, you may not know that our weather pattern has been changing over the last few years. So we have had a few tornadoes that have touched closer to our Killeen area. Just this year, we've had one in Temple, Texas that, was very devastating for a lot of people. And so when you start to see these alerts come up and people are, if they're saying take cover, if you hear the sirens, or if you're just following the news and, hey, it is a severe storm, if the weather starts to look a little funny, it's a good idea just to kind of make sure you get yourself and your family, or making sure your friends are in secure locations. If you're driving, getting up under somewhere, because we do have hailstorms as well. So that's dangerous and of course costly because those are repairs. But more so when we're getting those tornado warnings, or, they're starting to sense something could happen, it's a very good idea to take that very seriously, get somewhere safe and sound, always have an emergency kit available with a few things of water, an actual emergency aid, and just know how to kind of operate or have a protocol for you and your family. If you just experience something like that, you don't have panic, but you have a procedure in place so that it's safer for everyone. So guys, those are a few tips if you're relocating for this area. Things not to do. Do not take our emergency signals not seriously, because sometimes people just blow them off like, oh, it'll be okay. It's weather, it's Mother Nature, it is a lot of unknown variables, and it can change very quickly. So you want to be careful with that. Please do not put your hand, up under anything, or be very mindful when you're around brush, rocks, anything that's kind of collected where snakes can kind of get in there, because we do see them in this area. And so, they don't want to see us, we don't want to see them. So we just want to make sure we're very mindful. Making sure that you are not out here not hydrated, that you're not covering your head, that you're not being mindful of your pets, because hydration can keep you alive and keep your pets alive. Please don't discard of anything that was previously lit or easily flammable outside, because again, we are in drier climates and it's not very hard for things to catch on fire here, from just a simple cigarette butt that you thought was out, and now we have a fire out here. It happens every year. Do not swim in Lady Bird Lake, because again, there has been outbreaks since 2019, pets have passed, and so we just want to make sure everyone stays safe and secure. So if you had any experiences, or if you want to drop some comments down below for people that are relocating here of things to help keep them safe, please feel free to do that. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.